in one of your chapters that you've got to do, you've got to deal with broken studs. I think I called it, oops, I broke a stud. Everybody does that from time to time. So I've just set up a little exercise here to take you through so that you can see some processes that you could follow to get that broken stud out. And obviously the best place to start is to try and get the piece of broken stud out and then put a new bolt in to replace it. But if you don't find that successful, then we'll go through a couple other methods of actually fixing the thread so that we can actually reuse the same size bolt if we can. So the first thing is, I'm simulating for you, but you'll fully understand that if you break a bolt off in the frame, that basically ends up flush with the surface of the frame where it's actually anchored to. So I've got a piece of broken stud sitting in this plate here, and the first thing we've got to do, which is probably going to be the hardest thing when you're learning, is to actually find the centre of that broken stud. So a pair of vernier calipers, and through that chapter you'll also learn how to use a pair of vernier calipers. But a vernier caliper is a measuring tool, and that measuring tool is what we're going to use. It's got outside and inside jaws, and we're going to use the inside jaws to try and find the centre of that broken stud. We're going to find the maximum width of the actual broken stud first. So to do that, I'm just going to get the inside jaws sitting right on the edge of the thread, like so. I'm going to lock that up so I don't lose it. And then I'm going to read the number that it lines up with. In this case, it's 9 millimetres. So to work out what the centre is, we're going to just halve it. So we've got the diameter, 9 mil, so to find the centre we're going to do the radius, which is half. So that's 4.5 mil. So I'll readjust the vernier to 4.5 mil, like so. And then using a scriber, I'm going to sit the inside jaws once again. I'm going to line the outer edge up with the thread, and where the other part of the jaw is going to be the centre in one direction. So what I'll do is I'll put a scribe mark there, like so, and then I'll come at it from a 90 degrees or a right angle again, the other side, and I'll line that up again. And that mark now crosses over the other one, so I've got pretty close centre marked, in my opinion, right there. Next thing is we're going to use a centre punch, and that's another tool you'll see in the chapter. So the centre punch is used for putting an indentation there, so it's actually going to guide our drill when we actually start to drill the hole. So the next trick is to line that up where the cross intersects, lightly tap it with a hammer first, and have a look. And you've got a light mark there. Have another look and check with your vernier that that dot is in the centre, and it's good that way. And it's good that way, and I'll check at the other side as well. Good that way, and good that way. So we're going to use a tool called an easy out. So I've got a couple here. There's a few different sizes that you've got, and I personally like these ones because they do grip very well. The tighter you screw them in, the tighter they actually grab hold of the broken stud. So I do like this style. And these particular type, you've got to drill a specific size hole, drive the tool into the hole, and they're using this fluted or splined feature of the actual easy out to grab hold of the broken bit of stud. But as you can see by this one, it's twisted, and then they don't seem to be as strong as the easy outs. So how big a hole do you drill? Well, you don't want to drill a hole that's too big, otherwise the easy out, the way they're designed, will actually squeeze the bit of broken stud out against the side. So we need to pick a size about half the size of the hole that you're drilling. So we knew it was 9 mil, so we're going to use probably around about a 3.5, 4 mil drill. One of the things I've mentioned in the chapter is you've got to try and drill square. And what I mean by square is, when you're learning, you can't drill a hole, I'll just give you an example, like so, or like so. We've got to try and keep that drill straight in both directions. So when you're learning, it's not a bad idea to get a little engineer's square, sit that on the plate, and just using your eyes, sight the vertical line of your drill and make sure it's square. Check the other way. And it's just a guide to help you get this hole going through that square. If you go through at an angle, you're going to end up in more trouble. So try and learn to drill square. Okay, and after a while, you actually get quite good at doing this. Okay, so we're going to start the drill. Take your time. There's no need to rush. Just keep a bit of firm downward pressure while you're drilling. Just stop a second and just check that you are drilling in the centre still, which to me looks fine. So now we'll put a bit more effort into it. So the smaller drill bits, you find you don't need any lubrication, but once you get up into bigger drill bits, you'll need lubrication. Also, the rules about drilling. If it's a small drill, you can drill fast. If it's a large drill, you've got to start slowing your speed down as the drill bit gets bigger. Otherwise, they get too hot. And then you've got to use some lubrication as well. But this size, you can drill it fast and dry, and no real worries. Now you need to drill the hole deep enough for our easy out to go in. So I've chosen to use this size, and at the moment the hole's not deep enough yet, so I've got to go in further yet. I'm going to drill that in a bit further, so that easy out will bite into that broken stud. And I think we're ready. What we've done is we've got a taper here, and that taper is going to bite into the edge of that screw. That's what we're relying on for it to grab the screw. And we put that in the hole, like so. Twist it anti-clockwise, because that's the direction this thread's going to come out at, because it is a right-hand thread. Okay. And as we twist it, we just apply a little bit of pressure with a hammer. And what the hammer does is basically locks that hard into the screw. Okay, so I've got a little tap handle, it'll work. And if you have a look here, you'll see the easy out's grabbed hold of the stud, which is what we wanted it to do. And now that piece of screw is actually coming out. And we continue to run that piece of stud out. And we just keep winding in an anti-clockwise direction. So we're just keeping a bit of downward pressure on the easy out as I'm screwing. And usually the reason they break off is because they've got corrosion in between the two threads, and that's what's caused them to seize in there in the first place. And it's a matter of getting that to come undone. So use a bit of penetrant and stuff like that as well. That'll help it come undone. And there's the broken piece of stud.